It's a slightly gloomy day in Norfolk. I think it might be clearing a little bit. And today I thought I would do a drawing with this. This is a Kuretake brush pen, or rather a brush. It's not a pen. It's although Kuretake do make brush pens, and I'm going to draw with this, and one of the great pleasures of drawing with a paintbrush is and I think I've mentioned this with my brush pen, but drawing with the paintbrush is really enjoyable because you can make really quite dramatically thick lines and also very sort of small, delicate lines at the same time. Let's focus on the brush rather than my large fingers. And today I thought I would draw some sort of ogre creature, maybe a cave troll of some sort. It just seems to be an appropriate subject matter for drawing with a paintbrush. When I draw in this way, I'm often not thinking too much about what I'm going to draw, although I do find, that when I draw ogres, and, often for my political cartoons I've drawn a Brexit ogre, and they all have a sort of similar look to them, so I do have tram lines, I suppose, that I go down, but at the same time they're all just a little bit different, and I think that's part of the fun of it. I'm never quite sure what my particular monster is going to look like. So I've been concentrating on my camera work here, trying not to get too sort of shaky. I don't want to induce motion sickness in the viewer. There, a really large nose, perfect for a picture book ogre. Fee fi fo fum. This nose is good at smelling the blood of an Englishman. I don't quite understand why the giant would want to grind his bones to make his bread. I would have thought bone bread is rather unpleasant. Probably wouldn't rise very well at all. Maybe have to pick it out of your teeth. Lovely bone bread sandwiches. But it takes all sorts, I suppose. And the paintbrush, I think, is something that is used by artists who work in comics. Comic book artists often use a paintbrush to ink in drawings because it has this sort of graphic quality to it. The line is very expressive, and I sort of enjoy the free-form nature of it. Quite a few of the illustrations in my version of the Arthurian Legends, Arthur the Always King, written by the wonderful Kevin Crossley Holland. Quite a few of those illustrations were done fairly sort of spontaneously with a paintbrush, just to give it a particular energy that I wanted. And I think increasingly, as I progress, what I'm looking for in so much of my work is energy. Not losing the sort of energy of the line and the composition. Outside in my garden, there are men in high-vis jackets clipping my hedges with chainsaws, doing real work, while I'm in my rather cosy studio drawing fairy tale ogres, which is one of my great pleasures, I think. Working in the studio is the sense in which it takes me sort of away from the real world, where real people are doing real jobs and I'm just having some fun. And I think so much of creative work is about the sort of joy of it and the fun of it. And of course there's a need to apply yourself and maybe learn techniques and have sort of discipline, I suppose, to get projects done. But there is also a large measure that is just taken up by the sort of pleasure and joy of working with materials and exploring and experimenting. And I think that's an important aspect of the creative life. And we all need to do things because, for commissions and things, but it's nice also to have some time to just draw for the pleasure it gives you. And I think I've said this quite often, but I think it's that sort of activity that often can spur you on to create things, invent things, think up stories, make projects that no one has actually asked you to do. Otherwise, we have to wait around for people to commission us to do things, and one of the, I think, great virtues of Patreon is that it enables artists to get on and make work through the support that the patrons' pledges give them, which I think is just such a wonderful thing. So I hope I can, in return, repay that generosity with some of these drawings that I'm doing on a sort of daily basis, and that those kind enough to join my page as Tier 3 patrons can perhaps receive one of these drawings at the end of each month. He seems pleased with himself. He's got a knowing smile. He's probably going to enjoy a sandwich made from his ground up Englishman.